phone. Gotcha.
Yes. And live on Facebook. Let me just do this while you guys join. Welcome, Nancy.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Figure out to sort my camera out and I'll turn it on. 1 second.
Yeah, you can, it's being recorded, Nancy, so it's up to you if you want your face seen. If not, you can just unvideo it.
Okay, I'll leave it on video then.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's your choice. So I always like to let people know. And I'm going to be switching to a new broadcast where it's just automatic. Your face doesn't pop up. So it's much easier for you guys. Yeah, I'm just going live on Facebook now. On Facebook. So what that does is it just records it. So it's recording in 2 places. So we don't miss a recording ever. I'm just waiting for that to connect. Welcome everyone so far. And then, so we don't miss a recording ever. And then I mute it. There it is. Beautiful. Technology, right? I mean, oh my goodness. Okay. So I'll definitely have you guys muted as well. It's just easier. And then perfect. And then so the chat box, see at the bottom of your screen, you see chat. You probably have used that before. Just to let you know that when you're sending a message, just everyone is what should be selected so that we can all see your comments in the chat box. So that's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Great. Wonderful. So I know a few people might be joining us while we're waiting. So we'll just wait a few minutes. How's everyone? Did you catch the replay? Or I know, Teresa, you were here last week. What'd you think?
Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome. And yeah, it just, you know, it was really nice momentum for the week. It's funny this year, it just seems like the waves of things coming up to release, it's just so big and so intense. It's kind of become the new normal.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I can't really, even when I set intentions, it's like upstairs always has other, you know, that's my ego intention. And upstairs is like, well, we really need you to clear this and this and this. And so this is going to come up and this is going to come up. And the thing you were going to do today, well, you could do it another day. And so, yeah, I mean, there's been lots of momentum, lots of stuff letting go.
Perfect. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
That's great. And the beauty is, and I think we're going to touch on that today, is that even though we're releasing and we're letting go of a lot of old programs or old instructions and whatever, we're still creating, we're still in flow, you know? So that's really
cool. A lot of actually what was leaving was to open up to the expansion, to open up to the prosperity and the abundance and all the, you know, old programming and stories that, you know, and sometimes it's like I've consciously done that clearing, and then upstairs we'll bring in like a whole other layer that not realizing it's connected to that. And so, you know, there's been lots of, you know, just the choosing of it and the intention, and even just setting the intention, it, you know, it never goes how your ego thinks it's going to go, but it's like, it's still bringing you in that direction.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I like to call it with my clients is we create the lighthouse. We have a lighthouse where we're looking towards. We just don't know how that's going to always unfold.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Beautiful. Thanks, Teresa. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
That's awesome. Yeah. We're almost at 5 past, so I think I'm going to start, and I'll just admit beautiful souls that are coming in. Let me actually see. There's probably, oh, here we are. Let's enter. So, and Tony Ann, perfect. 2 more, great. So we have 2 more. Welcome, Nancy. Welcome, Tony Ann. There we go. Welcome. You're welcome. So, yeah, so it's up to you, Tony Ann, if you'd like your video on or off. I see you're already choosing for it on, but if that can change anytime you wish. It's being recorded, and definitely this will be available somewhere down the road so others can really benefit from it and create consciously. So thank you. Whatever choice you make to be seen or not be seen is up to you, and that's perfectly okay. Great. So I'm just going to make sure I see when people are asking to come in. It was covered by the image box a few minutes ago. So sorry. Let's do this. Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to have you here. I just love having us all together. Okay. This is our community. My name is Leanne Christine. I'm a conscious creator and manifestation coach, and I help coaches become the sought after profitable coach that they've always dreamed of becoming. And so in speaking with a lot of coaches and coaching coaches, the few things that they say that they really, really want to support them is a community of coaches. So that was part of the inspiration of coming together and having this available for everyone. And yeah, a lot of coaches, they're not quite where they want to be. So they see themselves, they know themselves as coaches or healers or some skill that they're working with and serving and offering to the world, but they're not quite where they want to be. And so when I asked, well, what would support you in having that come true in a community? And they said, one of the things that would support me, I'm just going to go here. Hold on. Oh, hi. Okay. Let's look at the chat box for a second. Grateful to be here. Me too. You too. Me too. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful too, Tony Ann. So one of the things when I asked these coaches, all these beautiful coaches, what would support you in community? And they said, having a weekly kind of momentum, focus, clarity session where we can come together and really witness each other transforming. We can really share and celebrate what we're creating in our coaching business and see what's possible through each other. They also wanted to get clear on what they want to create. A lot of times they just weren't clear. It just wasn't coming together in that sense. And they wanted to make sure they were clear so that they could make the right choices, right? So I think they were in that spot or are in that spot where they just weren't clear on what the next step was. And then once they were clear, you can make the right choices, right? More correct anyways, more aligned, right? With what you're creating. They want to witness transformation in others, and they want more confidence and less doubt. You know, doubt's going to be there, but wouldn't it be nice to have a little bit more confidence, right? So what builds confidence? What do you think? What do you think? And just to let everyone know, the chat box down at the bottom, it looks like it's automatically to everyone. So you can just click on chat. Yeah, doing it. Exactly, Nancy. That's exactly right. Doing it. Choosing the next step and following through. That's it. It's really, really straightforward, but it's not always happening, right? Why? Something else happens. A life event, an experience, a part of us starts to get scared, maybe starts judging it all, you know, holding on too tight, maybe a bit of control, whatever it is. We all know it. It's all there. We all know it. And that's what stops us from following through. But what I wanted to talk about today, which is really exciting, which is the theme, is how to get into creative flow, stay in it, and play in it. I like the play part. Don't you like the play part? Creative flow. Yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Yeah. And I love it. Last week, we actually, if you didn't see the replay, I recommend you check it out, because last week we did a big heart dump. Everything that we could possibly see ourselves creating as a coach and through our business. And then choosing one of them that sort of seemed like the diamond or the gem inside all the ideas that we know is something we want to move forward on. So we had that opportunity to create a choice. And what we call that, or I call that, is a true choice, because it's what you love, right? And it has a relationship to your coaching business, or what you want to offer the world. So we did that last week. And so if you haven't done that, that's okay. If you have an idea today, we'll just use that. We'll play with that and we'll get those juices running. And then at the end, we'll have our beautiful wisdom process to get us into that flow. So today we're going to talk about flow, and it's a bit of a skip forward. I normally would just go straight back into true choices and a little bit more about what's a true choice and how do we know that it's true? Like, how do we know that it's what we actually want? But today, what I wanted to talk about is actual flow. Like, what does flow mean? Because sometimes there's this complete misunderstanding of what flow is, right? So when we think of the word flow, there's a lot of people out there that talk about flow. A lot of coaches, a lot of programs, classes, you name it, whatever it is, books, writers, authors, they talk about flow. And they mention things as flow being completely easy, completely effortless, right? Everything clicking into place. Just happening. It's all just happening. Nothing really to do very much. Just receive the flow. It's always in the flow. But let me hear from you. What do you think flow? What have you heard flow, and what do you think flow is for you? Share. You can share in the chat box. To me, flow meant no issues, no roadblocks, just flow, easy, nothing getting in the way. And that's kind of external. And then there's the internal, the internal flow. Yes, exactly. Flow, nothing coming up. Exactly. Like the internal, like, oh, I don't have any resistance towards this. I feel good about this. I'm not afraid of that. I'm not scared of that. I'm not afraid of going live as a coach. Yes, being present in the being. Exactly. And so how many times, I want to ask you this, how many times have you stopped being in creation because something felt like it wasn't in flow? Me, I'll be the first to admit. Who else? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And that's okay. It was just how I was perceiving what flow was supposed to feel like. Right? So that's what happened. And I would say most of my creative life, if I felt like something wasn't in flow, I would either drop it, back out, or start to procrastinate, or sort of just let it sort of drop away. And you can kind of see how that could be a big misunderstanding, right, of what flow could possibly be. And maybe even leaving me without opportunity, right? Or you without opportunity, without having access to the infinite possibilities. Because automatically we're thinking, well, we're not in flow, so I shouldn't pursue this. I should back off, or I should stay safe, right? There's a lot of different elements to what is sort of feeding into that idea of flow and what we should do about it. Yeah, that's pretty accurate, right? So what I want to share today is what flow actually is. And it is some of those things that you talk about. Yeah, exactly. Or wait for flow to occur. Exactly. And so, I'm going to say this because this, as a coach, I'm pretty passionate about what I experience and how I'm applying that to my life and how I'm creating as a result of that. And so what I have noticed is that there's no waiting for flow to occur. At least it's not for me. There's no waiting for flow to occur because flow is, and I'll read this. It's clarity and consistent focus on the end result. I call it the end result. It's just what you've chosen to create, right? So if you've chosen to create a profitable coaching business, that's kind of an end result, but it's something you love. Like it's obviously been chosen because it comes from the very heart center of your being and your soul, and you embody it all as something that you would like to create just because you love it. So it's clarity and consistent flow on the end result that we are creating and what we've chosen to create. So that's flow. It is not free from contrast, right? Or dualism or contrast. So, the contrast of things. It's not free from tension, and it's not free from challenge. So, holy moly. So if I had known that at least 20 years ago, that would have been really great to know, because when I was working from the idea that it was something that had to just happen, I didn't really have control over it, or it was nothing coming up in my internal environment that was rejecting an idea or an experience, I could have been in a much different place, right? But all in good time. So what I want to sort of get across to all of us and us playing is that flow, take the weight off your shoulder, right? Flow is you experience tension. That's totally normal. We need tension. We need it because it shows us the ebb and flow and the energy of creation. So we need the tension. Tension is amazing because we're in a current reality. So let's say your end result, and I'm just going to use the terms that's really easy for me to describe to you. Let's say you have an end result, you have this profitable, amazing coaching business. And when I say profitable, I mean, the money that you want to support your life, right? That's profitable. So you want a profitable coaching business with amazing clients, right? They want you, they need you. It's amazing clients. So that's your end result. Your current reality is you're not quite there yet, which is totally normal, totally okay. Maybe you have a couple clients and maybe your end result is I want 10, I want 20. So that's your end result. So what tension does when we have tension in our life, this is tension. We look towards this, what we want, and we accept where we are now as just totally normal. This is normal. This is okay. And I'm going to take steps to get here. So what tension does is it's just an energy thing. We acknowledge where we are now, the current reality, and we say, this is what I want to create. And that tension pulls you together so that you become your end result. You become this person, you become the coach that you dream of being. So tension is necessary. It has to be there, right? Because then maybe I don't like this so much, but there's no emotion in it. It just is what it is. It's just an observation. there might be emotion, you know, the emotion of just experience in general, but that's okay. But the point is that the emotion's not stopping you, right? Like I mentioned before, if things didn't feel in flow, it would stop me. I'd stop creating, right? So what we want is the flow to continue to create despite the circumstance. Continue to create despite the current reality. Yeah, that makes sense. Does that make sense? Let me know. Let me know if that makes sense. You can say sense or got it. You can say got it in the chat box. Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Awesome. Sorry if you can hear the clicking. I think it's a nervous click. You guys have had that before? Yeah. So cool. And also, you know, flow has clarity as well. So I talked about clarity. One way we get clarity is by making a choice. That's what we kind of did last week. We got into a little bit of an exercise of making a choice. Next week, we're going to go back to that. We're going to create, what I'd love to do in these sessions is start with sort of a foundation, making sure we have a choice we want to create, maybe a couple, maybe 3. You know, sometimes when I work with my clients, we have 6. We don't always need that. 1 or 2 is great to start with. So we have clarity. So we have clarity by getting into a state, and sometimes I call it heart coherence. So we get into the heart of who we are and what we want to create. And there's a beautiful process I'm going to run you guys through and share with you next week. It's beautiful. And it's how we get into the infinite possibilities that's really, really specific to our soul, what we want to create. So next year, but next week, but this week I wanted to really talk about flow and the truth of flow, because it's not what we think we thought it was this whole time. Not all of it. There's more to the story, right? Yeah, there's more to the story. And so clarity is what we get when we spend time every week in the end result, what we've chosen to create. We spend time there. Okay, we feel it, we see it, we allow the body to experience it. We allow all conscious levels to experience it. Say, this is our reality. This is who we are. This is the identity. This is the coach I'm becoming. Maybe the coach you are now coaches, you know, one or 2 people here and there, or you have a handful of people that are sort of flowing in and out. But maybe the coach you're becoming wants to do something bigger, wants to expand into something bigger. So that's your end result, that choice. And so flow is tension, contrast, challenge. But we're taking consistent action in our steps, one at a time, despite that tension, despite that challenge. And every time you take an action, you enter into your end result, one step at a time. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Because the steps that you're choosing, that you chose them because they came from the essence of the heart of what you're choosing, the bigger vision of what you see for yourself and want to become. They're not just choices that you write down because you think you're obligated to. Well, I should do this. If you hear that in your head, anytime you hear, oh, I should do this, don't do it. It's just start over, okay? Start the choice again. And we're going to do that today. We're actually going to go through a beautiful process called the wisdom process. And one of my mentors taught me this. And this is a beautiful process. This is how we actually choose a next step, right? So I feel like you're getting the theme of this session every week, right? We get clear on what we want to create. We start to become it. Okay, so what we want to create is the end result. We acknowledge the current reality as being okay, right? That creates the tension. We take some actions. We commit to them. We follow through. And while we're taking those actions, we will experience tension, challenge, and contrast. And that's normal. And so we don't have to think that if that stuff is there, that means we pull back from creation. I'm just going to disappear, right? I'm pulling back from creation. So you see, there's nothing there. So we don't want to do that. We want to stay present with creation and be okay with the current reality of tension, contrast. It's just okay. And then we create. So this community, we support each other through this process. And Mondays, sorry, I shook the laptop. And on Mondays, it sets us up. It's the beginning of the week. It's exciting. Let's make Mondays exciting again, because we get to create the intention of what we want to create that week. And then we follow through this week. And that's why it's so exciting. Just doing a time check for you guys. How's this landing for you guys? What do you think? Is this exciting? Do you feel any relief to know that, I mean, when I heard that flow had those contrasting elements, that was a relief. I could be, oh my God, I didn't know that, right? I don't know about you. What do you think? How do you like it so far? Yay. I love it too, Nancy. I love it. It's so great, you know, and this work is just, I mean, I'm in a completely different place in my life as a coach because of these processes. I don't want to call them processes. They're just us teaching ourselves how to naturally be in this flow without having to really talk about it a lot, but talking about it's fun. You can celebrate. Yeah, it feels freeing. It sure does, Tony, and it feels freaking freeing. Beautiful, Teresa. Yes. Yes. That's exactly it. You put the words to my experience, much more clarity about it. Great. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. That's so important. Yeah. When I heard that, it just clicked. The pressure's off. You know, flow isn't something that I'm failing at. Honestly, I thought I was failing at it. I can't get in flow because I have an emotion. I can't get in flow because maybe I had a negative fantasy. That's something personal, by the way, I'm sharing. That's something personal that I've been working with for a while, a little bit. So sometimes when you experience trauma as a child, one of the side effects is you fantasize danger so that you can teach your body to handle danger when it unexpectedly arises. So that's something that I work with, that I experienced as a child. Very, very traumatic experience led to that coping mechanism for me. So when I felt like I wasn't in flow because those things were happening, right? I was like, okay, I gotta stop everything and deal with fixing this. But I don't do that anymore. But I still work with the fantasies. That is normal for me. Good. I'm glad you guys are loving this. And I love that you're loving this. Perfect. So I think that covers it in terms of flow. What I'd love to share with you next is called the wisdom process. And this process is what we use and what you can use every moment you want to choose something. Yeah, you're so welcome, Tony Ann. Yeah, I like to share my personal, I like to share that because I'm a real person, right? And I coach myself, I coach others, and I walk the talk. So Yeah, I like to share. So the wisdom process is so beautiful. It's how we get into a moment of choice. And so let's get into right now your end result. What would you like to create? And let's just, you don't have to go through the process right now of last week, but maybe there's something on your mind. So we're all coaches here. Some of the things that we played with last week were ideas that came up for what we wanted to create was have a best-selling book, something like that. Have a profitable coaching business, profitable, easy, and fun. What were some of the other things? What are some of the things you'd like to create? And as a coach, we also want to create health and vitality. So it doesn't have to be something related to the business or coaching practice. It can be our health and vitality. Something we're going for. So if you'd like, you can share what you would like to create. And we'll experience the wisdom process around that. Because that's what we're here for, right? To get clarity on what we want to create. Step into it as if it is already here right now. You are that person who has created that already. And then you let the body steep in the feeling of having created that and really soak in it. Really deepen in all the levels of consciousness. Beautiful, Nancy. Amazing health for me and my family. Yes. Help people with better health, grows, and assist people. And then building that team to grow my coaching practice. Beautiful, beautiful. So you have a few choices in there, Nancy. Amazing health could be one. Okay. Your family will benefit from your health. So that can kind of be a default in a way. But you can create things for your family. Like food, if you were to make food, for example, for the family. And your business is one. So your successful, easy, fun, lucrative business, that would be another. And building a team inside the business, that would be another. So when we make a choice, we want to create a choice that has no conditions. No conditions on it. I want to, an example of a conditional choice would be, I want a profitable and successful business so that I can support my family. So that's a condition. We want to not choose based on a condition, because we're going to choose to do something. Why? It's not a trick question. I think I've only said it a couple times. We do it because we love it. Exactly, Nancy. For the love of it and the joy of it. Exactly. That's why we choose. So it doesn't have to have that condition on it, because there is no condition on love and joy. It's because we love it. We will create. And if we want to change that choice down the road, we can. And why do we change it? Because it's no longer true for us. That's it. No other reason. It's just no longer true for us. It's a true choice. So have your true choice ready. And when you are ready, you can type ready in the chat box, ready. And then I'll know to move on to the wisdom process. You folks are amazing, by the way. So much love, so much joy. Beautiful, thank you. Ready, 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 beautiful. Okay, so let's have your choice, your true choice. Let's have that. And you can write it down too. I always like to have a paper and pen around me when I do these amazing experiences or meditations, visualizations, because I get ideas. I always receive the most incredible ideas through here, and I follow through with them, and they're just like magic. And that's what we want. So that's part of the flow, right? We want to be able to be in this process of receiving the answer, and then actually following through with it. And it creates flow and momentum automatically. It's beautiful. So let's do that. Let's do the wisdom process. So take a nice, comfortable seat. You can lay down too, it's beautiful. And I like to close my eyes because we're going to be visualizing this choice that you've just made. So nice, relaxed. So like take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And exhale through the mouth. And that's a nice big releasing breath. I like to do 3 of those. Let's just release any ideas about anything. And just relax. And while you take your next releasing breath, feel all the different muscles in your body relaxing. Maybe there's an area that feels a little tight. Just bring your intention there to help it relax by just being there with it and breathing through it. And so in this moment, just feel your heart now for a moment. Just connect to it. And so the heart's energy and vibration is so powerful. It pretty much knows everything before everything. It's full of wisdom. So we'll just expand this heart coherence and energy and vibratory essence just by merely placing our attention on it and feeling physically in the somatic world. That would be the physical experience and sensations in the body. And so right now I'm feeling a bit of heat. So I'm feeling the warmth of my heart. Have that expand throughout the bodies, through the cells, all the body systems, and even expand beyond the physical body into the energetic body. And expand so powerfully. And how do you see that expand? Allow that vision to appear as it wants to, as it's showing you all its wisdom. It feels so good. And in this moment, bring to your attention the choice that you've made, the choice that you've chosen, your true choice. It always makes me smile right away. And really see this true choice. And really see it. And I want you to see yourself in this true choice as it is complete. Oh yeah, just envelop yourself in it. Just visualize it. It's all around you. Where are you? How do you know this end result has been created? What lets you know? What do you see? Who are you with? What are you hearing? Feel it, be it with all your senses. Step into this, the future self of you that has created this already and is experiencing this now. Be in the ears, eyes, fingers, toes, body of this future self. You are this person now, having created it. And let that come to play. Play in this now and really let yourself have this now. Become it. And I always get a smile on my face because this is just so fun. I really, really love and enjoy this. I'm enjoying my choice. I'm enjoying having it been created and living it now. And what else appears? What else have you created here? And really feel that. How does it feel to be here right now? To be living this choice that you've made, this true choice that's become reality, dancing in form. I feel infinite and infinite possibilities. I feel a lot of happiness, a little bit giggly. I feel a lot of warmth. So just feel, what do you feel? Beautiful. So in this moment, I'd like you to look at your current reality now and just envision your future self looking at your current self. Just take a look back through the timeline just a little bit and just peer upon your current self. There you are. And as you're looking at your current self, before this true choice has been created, what would you tell your current self? What would you share and tell your current self? What needs to happen next? What do you need to do next? And play in can be something you want to take action on, something maybe you've been putting off, and that future self, that future you is saying, you know what? This is a good choice. Do this choice. Make this choice. Come meet me here. Yeah, what is that? What is that next obvious step that you would like to take to join your future self? And this is you. This is you meeting you. I want you to write down what you receive and what has come into your mind's eye or your heart or your knowing, and write that down. Doesn't matter what you receive. Trust what you receive, trust it, and write it all down. And let it live on the page. Let it live on the page. And be your truth. And when you're ready, you can come back to the conversation, open your eyes. Yeah, and when you're ready, please share. I would love to hear what your future self told your current self. Or what did you receive through that beautiful wisdom process? It doesn't have to be anything grandiose. It's just one step. One next step. One doable next step. Yeah, Nancy, beautiful. And what would be the next step? What would be that focus? That focus would be an action. What would be that next action? Let's bring it down a little bit smaller into a little chunk. Beautiful. And let's chunk that down again, Nancy. So to continue focus on your goals, okay, that's one. That's sort of the broader vision. To post on Facebook and show up as me, beautiful. That's a little bit smaller now, 3 times a week. So what would be the first one? What would be if you chunk that down even smaller? What would that be? And thank you, actually, Nancy, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful example of really bringing it down. That's right, make one post. Beautiful. That's it. That's it. And one step leads to another, and before you know it, you're in your end result. It's inevitable, right? It's inevitable. So the next step would be to commit to that. Write it on the calendar, right? When this week will you post on Facebook? There's my calendar. Sorry if that's messy. It's not messy. It's organized messy, right? There is such thing. You're so welcome, Nancy. So that's it. Ah, beautiful, beautiful, Nancy. I love it. And maybe even if the step is something you've done before, when you're in this wisdom process and you're really choosing your next action you would like to take towards the heart essence of what you're creating, it's a new quality of how you want to show up. Maybe for example, Nancy, you want to reveal a little bit more about yourself. Maybe you want to actually tell your story. So there's always a different aspect that's really going to expand. There's a different choice that continues to expand us into the end result, bringing us here. So you might feel tension, Nancy, you might feel it, and everyone, me, I know I do. You might feel the tension of doing something because there's might be a little bit of fear or unsure or uncertainty. That's normal, right? So we got a bit of clarity. We got some clarity, right? You have a next step now. That's clarity. So you do it. Let's say you follow through with it. And then after you follow through with it, you realize, well, that was a bit, maybe a bit wonky. What did I learn? What did I learn from that? Well, I could have been a bit more prepared. So what will I do? I will next time, the action I'm going to take is I'm going to be more prepared. So I'm going to start 15 minutes earlier and make sure I at least have these 5 things or 3 things ready so that I feel prepared. So it's all a learning process. So we're still going to feel the tension. We're going to feel it before we do something. And we're going to feel it after. We're going to feel both of those. But what we're doing is we're staying in the flow. Because despite the tension or the contrast or the fear or the emotion, despite it all, we're still going to take one step towards the end result. Doesn't matter. We're still going to take one step, right? And we have some clarity. So we continue with the wisdom process because we don't want to choose out of an identity level belief that says, okay, I'm not good enough. And those can sneak in and they're always in play. They're the most common. And I'll talk about that maybe next week. I'm not sure, but I'll talk about those. So, some of them are, I'm not good enough. I'm not perfect. I'm not significant. So those are examples. So sometimes there's parts of us that are trying to take action to resolve that feeling of not feeling good enough. But what the wisdom process just did is it helps us take an action from clarity and from the heart. So let me put a heart around that because that's what it is. It's the heart of clarity. It has a heart quality, a heart essence. So it's not, we're not choosing necessarily, and we might choose, it's not to say that we won't choose to resolve an identity level belief that I'm not good enough, or I'm not perfect enough, or significant enough, or I'm not worthy. Those are just examples. It's not to say it won't happen, but when we continue to play in the wisdom process and play in the flow, then we take the action. Before and after, we might feel some conflict, or we might feel a little uneasy, but we can adjust with that. We can learn from it and then continue to take a step. And that's how we get to play and flow. Because we don't have to leave flow. When we leave flow, it's depressing. It's not fun because every part of us wants to create. Every part, every cell in our body wants to constantly create. It just depends what we're creating, right? I love creating all kinds of things. But if I'm not creating and I'm holding myself back because I don't think that the flow is happening, it doesn't feel easy enough. It doesn't feel, I guess, yeah, I mean, that's it in the essence. It doesn't feel easy enough. But that's not flow, right? Flow is, you can feel the tension, the contrast before and after you take action. You learn from it, and then you take another step, and you take that step from the clarity of the heart. And that's it in a nutshell. Yay! I love this, and you can tell I'm very passionate about it. You're so welcome. You're so welcome, Nancy. So this is what we're going to do every week. So I'm going to share some wisdom, you know, the things that I have learned from some of the most amazing people on the planet, which I'll share with you as we go along. Okay. We'll get clear on that choice. So we'll bring that choice into our intention for the week. Okay. We'll visualize it. We'll become it and feel it. Choose our next obvious step, follow through, commit. One of the most important things we can do to build confidence as coaches or as people, as humans, and whatever we're endeavoring to create is to follow through. It's that sacred promise to ourselves that we're going to follow through. And we're serious about what we're creating because we love it. Right? Passion can feel like, oh, I'm so serious. Yeah, I'm serious about it. This is what I want to create. I love it. So what do you guys think? How was that? Are you excited about your next step that you're going to be taking and your commitment for the week? How does it feel to have that set you up for the week? Let me know in the chat box. Did any of this make sense? Or do you have any questions? You're so welcome, Nancy. Beautiful. So supported. Thank you. You're so welcome. I'm so happy. Thank you. Yeah. 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 So this is your week. Congratulations for staying in the flow of creation, no matter the circumstance, right? No matter what. It's beautiful. So we'll meet here every Monday, same time. Maybe a different format, but I'll let you know because you'll be there. And yeah, share on the Facebook group. I mean, this is what we're here for, is to build our community and support each other in this action taking, in the celebration of where we have stepped into ourselves, that we know ourselves to be in the heart essence of our choice. And share, let us know, share what your experiences were, what you're creating, share what you're creating so we can cheer you on. Yeah, you're so welcome. This feels so strong and possible. Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. And when we create from here, this is the momentum, right? And then taking the action, and then it's just, it is what it is, right? It is what it is, but it can be fun, right? There's the fun. And that's how we stay in it, but we continue to do this and focus on that end result. So thank you so much for sharing today with me, all of your beautiful thoughts and your ideas. Yeah, your next steps. Share, don't forget to share on the Facebook group. And also invite other coaches. If you know someone who would definitely benefit from this and would really enjoy this community, then please do share. Absolutely share. I would love to have you and build our family bigger. That would be great. And we'll see you next week, same time. I'll post the theme and the link will be on the Facebook group. Oh, mwah. You too, Teresa. Hugs and kisses. We will see you next week, and the replay will be posted on the Facebook group so you can enjoy it and run through the wisdom process. What I would suggest is you practice the wisdom process for your true choice to get you into a space of what is the next step or action that I would like to take, and have that be from the heart, right? In the essence and aligned with what you're actually creating. So it's a very potent way to do that. So do that every week, every day, or anytime you want to make a choice, really. And the replay is there for you. So much love to you. See you next week. Mwah. We'll see you next time.